It's a Wednesday morning. Floating corn. Loaded a couple yesterday before it started raining in the afternoon. Hope to get at least 3 out today. That'll give us maybe enough room to finish. But we're down right now, so yeah, I'll explain that to you between truckloads when I take you to the field and show you. This is by my brother's. This is freaky, the birds lately. I don't know where the hell all these little blackbirds are coming from, but there's like thousands of them landed in yards and fields, and this is like something out of the fucking movies. I came up here because there was an accident down here and the truck had to reroute around the block. So my brother wanted me to come up and see what his lawn looked like. It wasn't horrible, but there's ruts in it because people go down this hill, somehow wind up going off the road and sometimes rolling and all sorts of things and end up in his yard. Yeah. But the birds are just crazy lately. I zoomed in. The invasion of the blackbirds down here now. I saw them at the neighbor's farm down the road when I was coming onto our road. I mean, look at the bean field over there. I got it zoomed as much as I can. The bean field behind my house. There's Garrett's truck over there because he's up back bow hunting somewheres. And there's freaking, you can see right through there behind his truck, the bean field behind my house. They're covered in them. There's thousands of them. And it just started happening in the last like week. Not sure where they're all coming from. Gonna unzoom you now for the next time I turn the camera on. Alright, I'm at the field. There's Big Bird. The 8295 in the cart. So it is Wednesday morning. What is it right now? Like 9 o'clock. This has been sitting since 11 o'clock Monday morning. Something like that. I forgot to bring the key with me, so I can't get inside and like show you the fuse panels and stuff. But let me open this up. Hang on, because I need 2 hands for this. You gotta flip one lever and do another thing. So, all right, our problem. Let me put this down. This step. So the fan that blows air through the machine to keep the corn and beans and whatnot clean. You can see corn. Well, you probably can't because it's dark, but there's corn down in there right now. I wish you could see that, but let me get my flashlight out and see if that shines a little light on the situation. All right, now you can see yellow. So there's some corn down in that fan, which there shouldn't be. Well, I'm not saying there's not ever any in it, but so that fan, this is for you non-farmers, because you farmers know what the hell I'm talking about. That fan blows up through the system back here, your sieves and all that, where your corn is, to blow the trash out the back. All right, hydraulically driven. Let me get up on this step. This right here is called a triple stack pump. This one on the outside that's got this big line and the small line is one pump. The one in the center that's got that line and the line coming out the back of it is another pump. Then the big son of a bitch in the inside is another pump. All right, the only thing, the oil doesn't run through all 3 of those pumps. They are separate. The only thing they share, I guess you could use that word, is the shaft that runs through them. All right, so the outer pump closest to us is the hydraulic for running right there, your spinners. There's hydraulic lines on the other side. Might as well show you. There they are. That runs your spinners, that outer pump. The inner pump, that's the one that blew I'm pretty sure that was the one that blew on my cousin's, and it blew all apart. His Case 8250, which was brand new the same year as mine in 2022, and that was a disaster. They ended up bringing him a combine because they had to put a new, not only put a new pump on it, but the whole system had shit in it. I mean, new lines, and just clean it all out. Needless to say, it was down for the rest of that year. Didn't have very many hours on it, and now it's obviously up and running. So, but the center pump is the one that runs your fan that I just showed you, and that goes over to the other side where it drives. I'm not going to go over there. But anyways, that center pump, we tested the PSI on it. It was putting out like 500 PSI. It's supposed to be putting out, I don't remember what Larry said, somewhere between 2200 and 2500 PSI, something like that. Anyways, our pump is shot. Because the first thing we did was we went through all the electrical bullshit. There's in here, all right, and you can see oil all over because we had to take, things out and oil dripped. But behind this is where your two batteries are, and there's a, well, it's right about here. It's a fuse and whatnot bank, I guess you could call it, in there. Latch, bitch. And then there's one in the cab too that's got a whole bunch of fuses. Like I said, I forgot the keys, so not showing you that one. Went through all of what the computer and the book said. It wasn't electrical because those hydraulic pumps, you have to have, so many amps to put out so much PSI, all that kind of horse shit. Yeah, I might as well flip that back up for now. Anyways, that pump is $1,200, the center pump. So it is supposedly on its way. There was not one in the United States. Lovely, huh? There was some overseas. Can't imagine what that overnight shipping would have cost. And you never would have seen it the next day, because by the time I just don't think you would. I mean, this combine sat in the port of New Jersey for like 3 weeks before it was released back in 2022 when I bought the fucking thing. Of course, we know that was COVID era, which is why I just personally think anything built between 2020 and 2022, maybe even 23, probably shouldn't have bought anything bought in that era, because, we got rid of everybody that wouldn't take the hokey pokey and, hired any dumb fuck off the streets to put shit together. And I digress, and I won't go there anymore, because I have in, previous videos over the past couple of years. But I got a hold of the guy who's been out here numerous times, who got all of the gremlins of Big Bird fixed with the electrical. Someday we'll go through and kind of explain that too. It was like 2 different computer softwares fighting against each other. It's fucking stupid, but Big Bird's run great since we started this year, and actually the last week of last year, until this pump. So I got a hold of that guy to try and speed the process up and see what could be done, because this combine ain't got a lot of hours on it. This is the 3rd year of use, and he wound up getting one from Iowa. Apparently there's a New Holland training center in Iowa where there was a new combine there, and they ripped it off yesterday and supposedly overnighted it. So hopefully it gets to the dealership today, and if it does, they'll be out here this afternoon putting it together. If not, it'll probably be tomorrow, and God, I hope it's tomorrow, because Friday and Saturday they aren't working because the Empire Tractor dealership has been bought out. I can't even remember the name of the place that bought them out, but Friday and Saturday they are doing their transfer over to the new dealership, and supposedly aren't doing anything with customers those 2 days. Yeah, well, better hope it shows up so it's done today or tomorrow, because if it shows up so it could be done on Friday, but they don't want to because of this whole changeover, yeah, there's gonna be some noise made, I can tell you that. Because what the fuck's it matter that you're changing over dealership, you know, owners, so you can't do anything with, because that will be done a week, because then it'll be next Monday before anything can be done. But so there's where we stand. Basically, I got my, well, not completely my 24 rows around this field, because I was on my last time around the bottom. I always take this end off first so we can park trucks and start dumping, but I hadn't quite got the headlands off, and all of a sudden the fan went from 1,050 to 80. Yep, and that's where it stayed. And that makes a really shitty grain sample when that happens, just so you know. So I'm in the shop here. Just thought I'd show you. I swept my floor yesterday. Yeah, that's what you do when you're fucking bored, because you should be in the field, but you can't be. And you're waiting for trucks like I am now. But so my 2 live traps back there. There's one over there. You can't see it. One over there. Still got marshmallows in them. Haven't caught a trash panda lately. But I noticed this on the one chair. Yeah, fuckers. Trash panda paw prints. And boy, I'll tell you what, there's been a lot of trash pandas dead on the road lately. So, but hey, you know, nobody wants to trap them or hunt them anymore, because they ain't worth anything, because, you know, God forbid somebody wore a coonskin hat or something. It's just, let the animals overrun the world, because, you know, we not only need to fix climate change here in this country, while other countries just continue to, you know, South America takes over the United States as the #1 corn and soybean producer, because they just keep ripping down the fucking rainforests. And China, you know, they got to wear masks all the time because it's so fucking polluted. But let's spend all the taxpayers' dollars here to fix climate change and be the good people, and, you know, fur is bad and all this. Holy fuck. Oh, and while I'm having a moment, see, having time on my hands is not a good thing for me. But as far as the combine goes, kind of going back to the last video where I probably pissed off some of Doofus's ass lickers that also, you know, watch me, which, like I've said before, you don't have to watch me. I don't give a fuck. But that's a project that Larry's going to do. I mean, I'll assist if needed. But there's some things in life that you don't fucking do yourself because you want to be a hero to your followers, that, you know, fix it yourself, save money, blah, blah, blah. Or need to make YouTube content. I don't need to make YouTube content that bad that I want to fuck something up on a very expensive hydraulic pump that could, you know, fuck up the combine very badly if I try to do it myself. No, I get it, trying to save money, but you don't be an idiot about it either, and you just don't, plain and simple. So, all right, so as when I was down here earlier and I explained the whole triple stack pump thing, well, apparently the 2 outer small ones you can't get separate, so they came as one. But Larry did say we can separate them, so we are going to save the outer one that runs the spinners, because there ain't nothing wrong with it. But they sell it as one combined. So we're getting all the lines off now. As you can see, bale and twine comes in handy, tying shit off. I went up and tied another one off up top. So the process has begun. All right, old pump off. New pump in the side in Larry's hand. Larry goes, it looks like they pulled this off of something. Apparently he didn't know this came from the training center. I said, yeah, they did. They're not doing much training on that combine anymore until they get another pump. Oh, God forbid anybody had things in stock in the United States. Got it overseas. Yeah. Let it sit in customs for God knows how long before it could be released.
So we're getting there. All right, update. It's almost dark, as you can tell. The fan motor itself is what our problem is. As you can see by the end of the shaft, all chewed to shit. And then the, what do you want to call that?
Coupler.
The coupler in there, all chewed to shit. We don't know why. But after spending time on the phone with the, what is that thing called? TDH? THD.
Technical help desk.
Technical help desk. Where Larry punches all the bullshit into the computer, which takes forever because it's like they want, you know, your first child and everything else to be printed into the computer. And then somebody from CNH who's smarter than all the rest of us because they're engineers calls you, and we did all sorts of things, capping off lines, pressure tests. Basically, the pump that we replaced wasn't really our problem. So that'll be going back to Iowa. And now this is coming from, where was it? Indiana? I think.
Coming from Indiana. The coupler's coming from Mountville.
Yeah, pump's coming from Indiana. Coupler's coming from Mountville, Pennsylvania. Hopefully tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow I finish this video as a success story. All right, I'm back to the shop. Yeah, it's nighttime. Larry just left. It's a little before 7. So I'm covered in oil. That was probably not real smart. Rub my hand through my hair, but obviously I need a shower. So at least we now know exactly what our problem is. And hopefully, because I got a hold of that John, and he put in the machine down thing. If you got it in by 6, that could still be overnighted. So the pump is coming from Lebanon, Indiana. When Larry first looked it up and said Lebanon, I thought maybe it was Pennsylvania. I told him, I said, I'll fucking go to Pennsylvania like at 4 in the morning. It's a 4-hour drive. I looked up Lebanon, Pennsylvania. I said, I can be back by noon. Pick the thing up. Don't have to. It's Lebanon, Indiana. Wasn't driving there. So it's being overnighted. The coupler thing that the end of the motor shaft goes into is coming from Mountville, Pennsylvania. Well, there's no sense in me driving there to get that when we got to wait for the pump. So fingers crossed, things show up tomorrow and we get it. The $1,200 pump that we wound up not needing, hopefully they work with me and send it back to where it came from. And, you know, I'm sure I'm still going to be paying the overnight shipping to get here, and it doesn't need to be overnighted to go back. This stuff's obviously being overnighted. It's just been a long day. I mean, start in the dark, finish in the dark. Got 2 loads of corn loaded today, though. So, you know, made some room in the bin. Got 3 more to go out of them 8 that they had to take from that one company. So for those that'll ask, you know, well, why didn't Larry figure this out before you know, had a pump sent in and all this? It ain't always that easy, okay? I went through this with John Deere. The 8235 was a nightmare for about 2 years in a row with that whole exhaust filter, you know, burn off bullshit. Okay, 99.9% of these mechanics aren't just throw parts at it till we figure it out. I did have one from John Deere that kind of threw parts at things, and yeah, we ended up saying, no, we didn't need that $1,300 part, so take it back and put the fucking original one back on. But that TDH or whatever it was in the last clip that I said, Larry said, once we got that guy from New Holland to call us, he was very helpful. You know, the smart people that build this shit and never work on it. But, you know, but they build it. So I'll just leave it at that. But he was very helpful and told us what to do to check pressures and cap off lines and try this, try that, which led us to that motor. But here's the kicker, okay? I put about 140 hours a year on a combine. So I think I've mentioned this in a previous video. Your separator hours are always less. Well, this is only the third year on this combine, so engine hour wise, it's got a little under 400 hours on it. Of course, we're not done. So 390, I think it said, something like that. Separator hours are 229 hours. Not a lot, because obviously your separator's not running all the time when you're driving down the road and shit like that. So at least it shouldn't be. So for this thing to happen with 229 hours, and Larry him and I were talking about before he left, he doesn't know if they didn't get it like welded just right. So when the shaft went into that coupler, it wasn't perfectly symmetrical turning. So it wore out that coupler and ground the end of that shaft, which fucked up the snap ring and the O-ring, and it was spitting oil. And there was nothing loose. No bolts or anything were loose for holding this motor on, or the coupler inside the motor where the shaft goes in. There was no reason for this to happen unless something wasn't quite right from day one when it was built. Considering, if you want to go back 3 years for you newbies and see the fact that right from the very beginning, we actually literally cut a piece of the feeder house off, the back of the feeder house, because it somehow was made wrong at the factory. I'm just drawing my own conclusions that, like I said before, I regret buying anything from 2020 through like 2023, because the fucking COVID era, and it ain't just CNH, it's Deere, it's everybody, it's automotive, it's you name it, buy a fucking gas grill, whatever. Anything in the last 3 years, the fucking quality control has sucked. They've been working with me. I hope they keep working with me. I hope I don't get stuck for a $1,200 part that I didn't need, seeing as the fucking motor we're getting now is a $1,600 part, and the coupler was a couple $100. I mean, the labor's gonna be brutal, but it's also shit that I don't know how to fucking do. So I'm not gonna be a hero and try and do the shit myself, because I'm gonna save money, because I'm a first generational farmer. So I'll continue this tomorrow if everything shows up, and show you the end result, which I hope is us going back and forth in a field picking corn again. Oh, and yeah, it's starting to wear on me a little this year, because it's obviously wore on me for the last 3 years since we bought this thing. The son of a bitch does a beautiful fucking job when it works. But so for you haters, it'll be, like the one in the couple videos ago, Bin Buster, I think it was, I called it. The guy who I pinned, his first ever comment, I can't remember his name, really don't give a fuck, I was a whiny little bitch complaining, claimed he was a farmer too, probably in his 20s. So call me whatever you want. I'm not knocking you 9-to-5ers, so don't ever think I am when I say this, but that's the beauty of being able to get in your car, go to work, punch a time clock if you have a time clock. I don't know if you do, whatever. And at the end of the day, go home. If something's wrong, it's your company's problem, not yours. That's the fucking part that wears on you with this. And the older you get, it's worse, because it just wears on you so much, more than when you were younger. But I'm just guessing, if they give me don't charge me the $1,200 for the pump that we didn't need, I'm sure I'll get charged for the overnight air. I get it. I'm still probably going to have over $3,000 into this job. So thank God we're getting extra bushels, but those extra bushels were hopefully going to help, pay the bills along the next year, because the price sucks. But now some of those extra bushels are going to go to pay for this, so that we can just get done. And for those that are going to say, and I agree with you, with that few hours, but I've said it before, I'll say it again. You can buy a $20,000 piece of shit car and get a 3-year, 36,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty. You can spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on a combine, a tractor, whatever. You get a 1-year warranty. I think it's bullshit, but that's the way it is in this industry. You can buy extended warranties for thousands of dollars. I know I'm repeating myself, with deductibles and all that. So basically, it doesn't pan out in the long run. But I mean, it is what it is. It's part of being in this business. And if me explaining that to you makes you think I'm a whiny little bitch, whatever. I've said from the first fucking day I ever started this channel, you'll see the good, the bad, and the ugly. You don't just see in the middle of the field where it's going 250 bushel. I show you around the outside where the fucking coons ate it all, and the trees and all that, and it's going 50 bushel. This is the bad and the ugly going on right now. So, but if that makes me a whiny bitch, well, whatever. Maybe I should just stop fucking doing YouTube. I don't know. See you tomorrow. Oh, what a beautiful Thursday it is. It's Halloween. So yes, the videos, I'm trying to keep videos ahead. So you're not going to see this on Halloween. I think there's still one more video to come out between this. But it's supposed to be 80 degrees today. Yeah. So I had a nice chat, and this video is getting long. You can either bear with me to the end and find out whether it's a happy ending to the story, or you can leave. I don't fucking care. But I had a nice 10-15 minute chat with John from New Holland this morning about our issue. So, and I told him, I said, so the pump that we didn't need came from a learning center. I said, you guys have a division in CNH that, looks at shit that failed to figure out why? And he said yes. And I said, well, seeing as this whole process is costing me thousands of dollars, I'd like this looked at, because how do I do this? I ain't got my little tripod set up, so just bear with me. I really don't even give a shit if the quality of this is good anymore, because I just don't give a shit about much of anything anymore, the way things have been going. Oh, come on, I just want to set there. Maybe you can see me. So here's the motor. Okay, the shaft's sticking out. Here's the coupler it goes into. No, this isn't sex education, folks, so get your mind out of the gutter. It goes in there, and the shaft, spins, and it keeps going out the shaft with bearings on each end for the fan that blows the air through the separator system of the combine for you non-farmers. Okay, this is bolted solid, this is bolted solid, so there's no way for if this had come loose and was bouncing up and down or something, or vice versa in here, I could see how it wore the piss out of this shaft and wore the piss out of this coupler. But everything was tight. So one of two things happened. Either piss poor quality material for that few separator hours for this to happen, or piss poor quality craftsmanship being put together. Like Larry said, something wasn't quite, the bracket welded perfect or whatever, so that everything was lined up symmetrical. And we think it's been wearing for a couple of years. And like I previously said, I think in this video last night, I don't fucking know. I'm all over the place now. Yesterday was a long, tiring, depressing day, basically. So it's probably been going for at least 2 years, and just slowly wearing itself down to the point where it quit, because there's no other explanation. But anyways, before it's 10 o'clock, I'm just basically hanging out, waiting for that. John did tell me that my parts made it to New York. They were in Buffalo. So now they should be in transit, UPS to Waterloo to the dealership. I called Larry earlier at 8 o'clock and told him, text me or call me when you're ready to go out. So I'm just hanging. So I just thought I'd throw a dipshit section out there, which you're going to have to go back to, I guess it'll be 2 videos ago. The one titled Bin Buster, where it shows the grain cart full. Okay. The first one is the guy who made the comment about how I'm just a whiny little bitch or whatever, and I pinned his comment. He didn't really have a name, it's just a bunch of letters and numbers and whatnot. But then there was another person who made a comment, Rick Nagel. I I guess is how you pronounce your last name. Of course, like I've told you before, I can push on your little icon, see how many comments you've made since my channel started. And it was the first comment Rick Nagel had ever made. So Rick came across my channel and decided to tell me his comment was, those trucks don't have 35 ton in them, try 25. Talking about the tractor trailers that I was loading. Like at the beginning of this video when it was, you know, dark out this morning and we were loading a truck. Not that I have to do this because it's none of your fucking business, but all right, here's one of those loads from the other day. 35.92, 71,840. Hang on. Let me blow it up a little. 36.48, 72,960 he had on that. Okay, I could keep going through my phone because I have them all text me pictures of the weigh tickets. I could go to the guys that took the 4 loads for Schooler. The one guy was a crazy nut, great guy, but holy fuck. He took 37 ton, the one load, and 40 ton. He had 80,000 something on the second load. This kid that was here yesterday, they're permitted for 117,000. They got the heavy permit. I mean, I don't get it. You come into a channel, those trucks don't get 35 ton, try 25 ton. Well, maybe where you fucking live, you can only haul 25 ton, but whatever, dude. I mean, it's one of the things that fucking suck about this whole YouTube thing is the keyboard warriors that are just so fucking smart. Like the one, you got to go back to that bin buster video and read the one that I pinned, because I don't know what the dude's name is, so I can't call him out by name, but you know, you're just a whiny little bitch and I farm. Okay, yeah, you're probably a 20 something. So yeah, Kamala gets reelected and the Democrats start staying in control. Glad I'm close to retirement. You enjoy your next 30 or 40 years of farming in today's climate. I don't mean climate as in climate change. So I'll turn you on when hopefully we're running. Alright, for the inquiring minds, that's the coupler. The yellow thing. Sorry about the sun because I know it's shining on it. That's the thing that came out in like 3 pieces when Larry took it off. The nuts were all grooved. It just, none of it makes sense. We were just discussing it before I turned the camera back on. And there's the new pump slash motor. Motor slash pump, whatever you want to call it. That shaft goes into that coupler and you see the keyway. It just, none of this makes any sense. Everything was tight, but something was grinding the fuck out of the thing. And like I said, that little 3-prong coupler came out in like 3 pieces. It was broke all to shit and all wallered out. The end of the shaft, like I showed you last night, was all wallered out. Nothing makes sense. Alright, well, we're putting it back together. We took a little video and sent it to the guy from New Holland because I didn't do it on the GoPro. I should have. When you spin that, it kind of spins kind of oblong. Well, actually there, you can tell now. So basically, when that shaft goes in there, yeah, we're going to be able to run, but it's probably been wearing since day 1 that we got it, and it just took this long to wear out. So in 3 years it'll be wore out again, unless somebody looks at that video and figures out what to do to solve that problem. I don't know. Well, there you go. We're running. Still on a truck. End of video. Here's your one more thing. Got this field just about done. I should have turned this on before. These 2 little short rows right here. This is what your corn yields when when you don't put extra nitrogen on it, because I didn't bother to knife these little short rows. Let's see what the yield monitor gets up to. Obviously it's reading 0 at the moment. Maybe it won't even get up to anything because the long row is not long enough, or the short row is not long enough. There it goes. Mid 50s. The pass before that was like 75 to 80. Looks good standing there. The ear didn't look that horrible. Corn needs nitrogen. If you know, you know where I'm getting at.